Hi, my name's Maria Guild, and today we are talking about the biggest mistakes sellers make when they go to list their home. Let's get right into it. All right, one of the biggest mistakes I see is not pricing a home correctly. So before you go onto market, you need to get with an agent and you need to make sure that you are priced right for the market. The market is cyclical. That means it goes up and down. Believe it or not, us realtors have zero control over that. A home could have sold $30,000, $40,000 more 6 months ago than it does right now today. Or 2 months from now, it could be selling for $40,000 more than it did 6 months ago. We have no control over that, but we can analyze the market. We can tell you what homes are currently selling for in the last 6 months to a year, and we can help you price strategically. Here's the thing. Sometimes sellers think that they can overprice it, and then people will just kind of look at it and then maybe give them a lower offer. That's not always the best strategy, because typically the most excitement and where you're really gonna get your interest when you newly list a home is in the first 7 to 10 days. So if you're coming to market way above the price of all the other homes in the area, most people are just gonna leave that in the water. They're not gonna spend the time to go look at it and really seriously consider it. So it's a much better strategy to be very strategically priced. Now, I understand sometimes people are just kind of testing the market and figure out what you wanna get for it, and it might not be the right time to list your home. All right, my second tip is don't over renovate. If all the homes in your neighborhood are kind of standard and then you decide to wrap your house in gold or whatever, you can, but you might not get that investment back. So sometimes big, huge over renovations aren't always necessary. My next tip is when you are getting ready to put your home on the market, you have to prepare your home. So a mistake I feel like some sellers make is not really getting their home well prepared for being on the market. Once you're on the market, it's go time. You are gonna have people coming into your home and deciding if this is where they wanna call home next. So before you start doing that, you need to make your repairs. You need to make sure your home looks good and smells good and is ready for a buyer to come in and purchase it. And the very first step into marketing your home is your photos. So you should be working with an agent who's actually getting a professional photographer come out and do your photographs. Now, once you have your agent there and a professional photographer, you can't have your house covered in clutter and big mess. So try and take care of that before you have them there, spending their time trying to get your home photographed. You need to make sure your counters are clear, there is no clutter. Start boxing stuff up, throw it in the garage if you have to, but make sure that your photos are really good. And if you have an agent showing up to your house with a cell phone and taking random pictures, not moving any stuff, that's not good. And your photos, that's the first place people look. They're gonna be looking through it and they are not even gonna wanna come to your house. So you need a professional photographer, you need really good lighting, and you need a clean, clear surfaces. You need to be featuring your home, not your personal belongings and stuff. So that's one thing that I've seen. I go through the MLS a lot and I'm like, those photos aren't so great. So make sure your photos are good. And then my other tip is first impression. So oftentimes a buyer decides in the first 5 seconds if they like the home or not. So making sure that when they pull up, there's good curb appeal, it looks sweet, it looks nice. It doesn't have to be fancy, but not full of weeds, broken stuff, or trash around. Make sure the first impression is good. And then when they first open the door, it needs to smell good. You can't be hit with pet odors or weird smells. It needs to smell clean. It needs to smell nice. It needs to smell fresh. It needs to be clean. It needs to look great. And then you're gonna have people come in and be like, oh my God, this feels amazing. It looks amazing. It's beautiful. It's in good repair. Let's make this our home. And that's what you want. Another mistake I see sellers making is skipping those little repairs. I was showing a house the other day and the light fixture was hanging down, the wires were exposed. Simple, easy fixes like that. Get them done. You're probably gonna recoup all of those small repairs when you sell the house. So just make sure that your home is in good repair. Little leaky faucets, broken light switches, broken lights, all those little repairs you definitely wanna take care of before you list your home.